Welcome to the MultiSite Intermediate Training Session for the Maintenance Module. This session, we will again focus on work orders. I will demonstrate at least three basic functions. A quick way to find and edit a work order. Filter your work order grid to find work orders with different statuses, like on hold, completed, canceled, and how to change those work orders to a different status. And finally, I will show you how to add costs to a work order, and then to bill all or a portion of them to a tenant. Let's start with a quick way to find and bring into edit mode a work order. Remember the other modules where there's a find box in the toolbar? The find box in the maintenance module will find the work order number that you type in for the property that is in focus. And it will bring it up in edit mode. Like this. I can see work order number 2 down there. I'm going to type 2 and press enter. It brought up work order number 2. And then we could go and edit it. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Well, we got the first one out of the way. Next, let's find a work order that I had put on hold and bring it back to the open status. I'm going to go up to the View menu. I'm going to choose Filter Property. No, I'm not. I'm going to choose Work Orders. And let me go down to On Hold and click on that. Notice the status panel at the top there in the gray area. It says On Hold Work Orders, 4 p.m. ASHA. I have one work order on hold. That's work order number 3 for complex code 48. If I click on it, you'll see the work order summary at the bottom, just like you always do. Now, I'm going to bring this one back to life. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to click Open Work Order. Now it's gone from the on-hold work orders. That's because my filtered view says on-hold work orders. I only had one on hold, so I got rid of it, and it's now open. There's nothing in the list, right? So let me take my mouse and go up to View and do Filter Work Orders, and let me select Open. And there they are all back. Now, with that one I just took off of on hold, I could work with it. By the way, some of you might have noticed that in the work order column, there are 2 work order number 1s. That's because I am, in this demonstration, logged in as a regional property manager, so I can see more than one property. Notice the top row, work order number 1, to the left, foreign key complex code is 47 minus, and the work order right underneath it is work order 48 minus. So they are from 2 different sites. Every site will have a different, its own set of numbering systems. That's enough of the views right now. Let's get right down to business, and I'm going to start the rest of the demonstration on closing work orders. In the introduction to work orders, you learned how to close work orders without applying any cost to the work order or billing the tenant any portion of the costs. In this session, I'm not going to discuss the subject of inventory or appliances. I will have a short training of videos on appliances soon. Let me pick number 8 here. I look down at the bottom. It says window screen busted out. Blinds on back window broken. Tenant requests new door lock for tenant safety. I'm going to double click on this, and the screen now opens. Now you see the intake summary on the left? That service requested at the very bottom, window screen busted out, that is the summary information that came from when this work order was first implemented. Now, theoretically, you'll be holding a work order that was printed out when you requested it. It has now been handed back to you from the maintenance person, and you're going to type in the work description. And I'm going to type in here what he wrote on his sheet. All right, that completes what the maintenance man wrote. Now look at the tabs at the top. Materials and Labor tab, I'm going to click on. The quick add items, you can see in a row down there from left to right, new appliance, new inventory, from stock. And then the button that we're going to be working on today is Material, Labor, Equipment, and Other. The subcontract is also a quick and easy way to enter in. And the unit price. Well, looking at this list here, I'm going to choose unit price as my first item that I'm going to enter because it has more of the items. Now, your site may or may not use the unit price system. If it does not, then and I'll show you another way to enter this. All right, I'm going to go down here, repair screen window. I'm going to click add. Notice when I click it over there, the quantity automatically defaults to 1. The next one is window blinds fixed. I don't have that on the list. Found stopped up commode and fixed it. Let's see, unstopped commode. Now I want to talk about this. The first column is category L. That stands for labor. And then the description is unstopped commode. Unit of measure of each. The price is $7 and the labor is 1/2 hour. I'm going to click the add button and it's over to the right. The last one on the unit price list that we can find is new locks. There's a door lock, and then we need a labor to install lock. The door lock, notice, has an M. That stands for material. And the install lock is labor. So there's 2 steps to installing a door lock. You have to buy one, and then you have to install it. If I click the add button, it moves above them over to the right. Having looked that I have my quantities correct, all in the far right column over there, I'm going to go down and press the save button. All right, now that we've saved the unit price screen, we are now back at the work order update form. Those items from the unit screen filled in here. The quantities and the hours and the total cost over here. We have another item that we haven't accounted for yet, and that's window blinds, fixed tangled cords, charge tenant 1/4 hour. I'm going to click the Material, Labor, Equipment, and Other form. This form is used for either of those types. First, I'm going to I'm going to put an L in there for labor. The unit and the building number are already filled in. Purchased from. I could type something like Lowe's, or I could go over and select it, and I'm going to type LOW, press enter, go down to Lowe's Companies, double click on that. It's just like the AP form, isn't it? I could type an invoice in here if I wanted to, or I could just put a date, something to denote, something to go back to that invoice. I need to put some kind of a description here, or it will tell me, give me a validation error when I try to save, and it won't let me. So I'm going to put by the way, I just realized there was nothing purchased here, so I'm going to delete the Lowe's thing. I just did that for demonstration. The completion date here, I'm going to make up a date. Hourly rate is $12 an hour. 0.25 is what the maintenance man told to charge, so that's $3. I'm going to press the save button, and now we're taken back to the screen that we were just at. Let's find this. Untangled cords. Right here is the one that we just did. Now the last tab at the right is a close and info. I'm going to click on that tab. We're going to close this work order. Notice a couple of things about this. The status is open. The date completed hasn't been filled in yet. And the work order cost is $52. You cannot edit that but that's the total of all the costs that you entered. Now the status, I'm going to change this to completed. Remember from the first lesson, I just start COM and then it fills in the rest of the word. Tab goes to the date completed. Now the tenant amount, let's say, let's say you want to charge them $40. Now, before I put something in there, the Bill Tenant button down at the bottom was grayed out and you couldn't press it. So because I entered an amount, it's now open. I'm going to press the Bill Tenant button. Now this comes up. Actually, it's the same list when you make a tenant charge. This is just like a charge form, except you don't have to make a single charge for each of these. Notice at the top it has a familiar period post, the date, and amount to spread, $40. That was brought over from the previous page. I'm going to go over here in the damages and I'm going to put $40. Whoops. $40. I could, however, go down and put different apply amounts for all of these different amounts. Now when I hit save down here, it's going to make a charge to that tenant. And it'll show up as damages directly on his account in the tenants module for you. After I press save, the update work order form closed and we're taken back to the main grid where we see that that work order number 4 that we just closed has disappeared from the list. This completes this chapter in the maintenance intermediate work order training video. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Thank you for watching.